not do her schoolwork for her.
r/EntitledParents. Our first story we'll be reading today, entitled Mom Gets Mad When I Don't Write Her Daughter's Essay for Her, from user Vivacious16. After that, entitled Mom Harasses Us at the Zoo, but Gets a Little Revenge at the End, from user I'm an Ugly Pony 78. And then we'll be finishing up with, No, your kid cannot sit on my motorcycle. Plus, you owe me a new helmet, from user Iron Man Reigns. Thank you so much to our authors for letting us read your stories. And if you're an author who would like me to read your story next, please submit them to the r/Mr. Reddit subreddit. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. Entitled Mom Gets Mad When I Don't Write Her Daughter's Essay for Her. So I'm on mobile, and this is my first post, so sorry for the bad formatting in advance. Usually a lurker, but felt like I should tell my story. It's not too dramatic or crazy, but it's my own mother. Sorry for the grammatical errors. Roast me if you'd like. Our cast. We've got me. We've got entitled Mom, my own actual entitled mother, and my sister. Anyway, I'll try to keep things short. And yes, this is about my mother, who has been a nightmare for years. I'm an adult and in college hundreds of miles away, but she still tries to track my location, demands to know where I'm at all the time, and pretty much tries to control every aspect of my life. Background. I'm home for the summer and don't have much to do. My sister missed an important event for her physical education class and had to write an essay to make up for it. She plays volleyball and had a 2-day tournament the same weekend as her finals. When they got home from the tournament, my sister said I needed to write her essay for her. My mom was listening. I thought she was joking, but alas, the story. Later that night, I'm sitting in the kitchen, watching Netflix and eating blueberries. My mother enters, holding a piece of paper.
So, here's the prompt. Write the essay. What?
No,
You have to write the essay for your sister.
no, that's cheating.
I told you this when we got home from the tournament.
I thought you were joking. I'm not going to help her cheat.
It's just a stupid paper. She only has to do this because she missed the PE event and has to make up for it. It's not even hard.
Well, tell her to do it herself, and I can edit it.
She has finals to study for. Just do it.
No, she can do it herself. Entitled Mom starts yelling.
She doesn't have time. Just do it.
Now, I have a pretty bad temper myself, but I did my best to stay reasonable. She can write it, and I can edit it. My mom stomps off, angrily, and complains to my dad. She comes back into the room and glares at me. I'm right and you're wrong in this situation, and you know it. She doesn't say anything and leaves. I'm pretty upset at this point and grab my stuff and walk upstairs. I stop outside my sister's door. How long does the essay have to be?
2 pages.
Just write as much as you can, like a page and a half, and I can edit it and give you ideas on how to make it longer.
Whatever. I can't believe you're not even helping me.
I didn't say anything and just walked away because I'm annoyed and upset at them for refusing to see that they're being unreasonable. A couple days later, my mom and I are in the car.
You can't just live your life always following what's right and wrong. You need to be flexible.
It's not about that. It's that cheating is always wrong, and if sister is caught, it's plagiarism. She could get in serious trouble, fail the class, and even get suspended. My mother talks more about her side and about how the paper wasn't even important and how I should help my family out when they are in need, blah blah blah. Cheating is still wrong. I helped her edit it. It took her like an hour to finish it. It's not a big deal. Besides, if she has to write an essay when she has finals in the future, this is good practice for her.
Well, you sometimes go over 65 on the freeway. That's not following the law exactly.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, and it's more important to be safe on the freeway than religiously follow the limit. It's not safe to be driving too slow. My mom talks more about how she's not saying I'm wrong, but need to be more flexible, which is bull because she's not flexible at all.
And you shouldn't have said the things you said to me or your sister using the tone you did.
She always talks about my tone.
Sister said to me that you wouldn't help her at all.
I did help her. I offered to edit it and even gave her pointers on how to make it longer. And the only reason I said the things I did the way I did is because I never expected you or sister to ever ask something like that of me. My mother was silent afterwards. She never apologized and never apologizes when she's wrong, but always expects me to, even if I'm right. Edit. My sister actually writes the essay that first night. Took her like an hour, and I helped her edit it and get it up to the page requirement. Edit 2. My sister also is injured and didn't play, so she had the entire weekend to write the essay. Next we've got Entitled Mom harasses us at the zoo, but gets a little revenge at the end. We meet again, Mr. Reddit. I have another Entitled Parents story for you, and it finally came to me after driving more into my troubled life. Sorry for how I wrote this, since I'm on my whittled phone. It's not an r/petty revenge, but she does get it at the end. Not from me, sadly. It was a few years ago, probably around 2016, that I went to the zoo in my town, classified. I was with my friend and her boyfriend since I rarely go out. I'm not a sociable person at all, but she was an old friend and I loved hanging out with her. Her boyfriend was also fun to talk to and even sarcastic at times to make us laugh. The things to remember: I have autism, and she might have it too, but didn't get a chance to be tested back in her day. We hate confrontation, but I'm getting a little better on how to stand up nowadays. She still needs a little work, but she's still able to keep on her toes. She is a very sweet girl and quickly apologizes over little things. I love my bestie and would do anything for her. Let's get the names first. OP, the ugliest pony in the world. We've got my best girlfriend I've ever had. We've got her cool boyfriend. We've got Entitled Mom, most hated of all species of humankind, and her poor kid, who needs a better mom. So, we decided to go to the zoo, and we wanted to check out some animals that had been transferred from one zoo to ours. I loved seeing the tigers since I'm a big cat lover. She loved seeing the lizards and snakes, which I watched from the other side of the room. I hate snakes. It wasn't packed, so there were like 20 people in the zoo. We were at the monkeys area when the fight started. We went to see them, and cool boyfriend mentioned a few things about monkeys that he found online. My best friend watched one of the monkeys, a lemur, jumping around playfully while listening to him. I, for one, didn't really care. I didn't say anything mean about it, but in truth, I hate monkeys. All kinds. Well, I do think lemurs are cute, I guess. I grew up with a show that was about two nature brothers and a talking lemur who talked about animals in each episode. Oh, you're talking about Zaboomafoo. I remember that. Nice. So I guess I liked them from that show. But really, I don't like monkeys or apes. I tell people that from time to time, and they either play it off as nothing or even act shocked. One person even tried showing me a video about how I should love them. It didn't work. So, back to the story. We went on till we got to the gorilla habitat and watched a black gorilla stroll around doing whatever it wants to do. Boring. We didn't know that Entitled Mom and poor kid were in the room since we were too preoccupied watching the animal. At the time, cool boyfriend left to go to the bathroom, leaving us alone. We decided to wait for him before moving on and sat at one of the benches they had in the room. Aren't they so cool? I always wondered if we really evolved from them. I kinda hope not. If so, I'm glad we know not to throw poop at people. But I think other people would do that anyways. She laughs. Oh yeah, I forgot you don't like them. I'm really sorry for forgetting. How come? Entitled Mom and poor kid were now closer to us, and it looked like she was listening in on us. We didn't see nor care. The room was small anyways, so she would have heard us one way or another. No, it's okay. Really. I guess I just don't like them because of how they are. Mean as it is, I think they're ugly. They throw poop. They even attack you if you don't provoke them. One lady got disfigured from an orangutan attack. Oh yeah, I heard about that on the news. But I get it. Different opinions, right? Of course. It's okay if you like them. Not gonna be mean about that. But I do like some animals, like the big cats. But just a few, actually.
So, why are you here then?
We turned our heads to the entitled mom, who, of course, had to butt in. She looked like a typical 40-year-old overprotective mom with the usual Karen hairstyle. Poor kid, who looked to be 7 or 8, was behind her, looking embarrassed and maybe worried. Probably for our sake. We looked at her confused. Excuse me?
I heard you say you hate monkeys and some animals. Why are you here then, if you hate animals?
What are you going on about? I don't hate all animals. I like some. So what?
Then you shouldn't be here if you hate animals. My son is here to learn about them because he likes animals, not to be annoyed by you two.
My friend tugged on my sleeve nervously. She and I were getting nervous easily. She wanted to leave, but I wanted to know why this jerk just suddenly bumped into the conversation when she should know not to stick her plastic nose in other people's business. What's it to you? So what if I don't like some animals? We don't need to love every animal known to exist. Oh, OP, come on. Let's just leave this place. Entitled mom turns to my friend and angrily shouts,
Stay out of this, jerk!
My friend immediately jumped, and I felt her shrinking down behind me so she wouldn't get yelled at again. Okay, that did it. I got nervous easily like her, but when I see someone yelling or making fun of my friends like that, I go mama bear on them. I stood up, seeing that she and I were almost the same height. I can't do measurements to save my life, people. I glared at her so hard that I used my same stare I gave my little sister, which, funny enough, gave her nightmares for a couple days. Don't you ever call her that. You should have stayed out of our talk in the first place. I'll take the abuse, but don't even think about harassing my friend. Poor kid tugs on her purse strap, trying to pull her away from us. Mom, let's go. Don't do this again. Entitled mom ignored him and poked a bony, dry finger at me almost a few inches to my nose. I wanted to just bite and rip her finger right off at that moment.
Don't you dare talk to me that way, you brat! You should respect your elders.
Funny, I don't see an elder. I only see a spoiled, immature 3-year-old. Both my friend and poor kid chuckled at that part. I had to hold myself from laughing too. It's rare of me to think of a good comeback sometimes. Entitled mom's face almost looked like steam was ready to burst out of her ears. Of course, she shrieked at us. Poor kid was like, Mom, stop!
That's it!
She tried to smack me, but I quickly moved out of the way, making my friend get up and pull me further away from her. At that moment, cool boyfriend came into the small room after his bathroom break and saw what was going on. His friend glaring at the she-beast and his girlfriend almost in tears from the fight and being shouted at. Entitled mom saw him, then had the smuggest grin on her face at me. Guess she didn't see he was in our small group before and thought he was a good person to lie and get him on her side. He does look like he could work there and even had the same zoo shirt he got from the gift shop a year back. Entitled mom turns to cool boyfriend and starts pointing fingers at me, shrieking in a fake whiny voice.
Thank God you're here. These two little brats were harassing me and my son and tried to steal from me. Get them out of here and ban them from the zoo.
Wow, good acting there. Cool boyfriend turned to us first, then to Saggy McCrybaby before turning to us again. Got yourself into trouble, huh, girls? Looks like I'ma take you away so you'll be properly punished. Without entitled mom noticing, he winked at us, showing that he knew how deranged this lady was and how easily we get into trouble sometimes. We decided to play along. But we did nothing wrong. She started harassing us first. My friend says, We don't want to get kicked out. We really didn't do anything bad. Cool boyfriend motioned us to come with him, and we went with him, acting sad along the way. All the while, entitled mom kept the smug grin on her face. Apparently, she was too stupid to not know what a real performance was. I turned around to see her waving her hand in a sarcastic way, while poor kid watched sadly. I guess he couldn't say she was lying to cool boyfriend, possibly too scared of her to even jump in again. I felt really bad for him. We left that area, and he and I started laughing our heads off. Cool boyfriend was very clever on what to do in these situations, so we knew what his plan was at that moment. We comforted my best friend, who was still a little freaked out from that, and took her to get some drinks from the cafe. We decided not to tell a real employee since it was over and done with. The zoo was small, but we would be able to stay away from her if necessary. Honestly, I wanted to smack that grin off her face. But we were walking out of the zoo a couple of hours later. But before I left with my best friend and cool boyfriend, I saw entitled mom with poor kid in the gift shop with a security guy next to her and store cashier behind her. The security guy had her purse in one hand and holding a small toy in the other hand. She must have tried to sneak out with it, but was easily caught. The gift shop had large windows around the building, and there were stacks of toys and stuff along the glass, so it was still easy to look inside. At that moment, we were both able to make eye contact. I gave her my sweetest satisfied smile and made the same hand wave she gave us back to her before switching to flip her off, then walking out of the zoo laughing to myself. I'll never forget the look of the she-beast, all red and furious with literal steam coming out of her ears like I thought. I even saw poor kid snickering behind his mother at my motions. I hope he's doing a lot better now. Mr. Reddit, if you want to, please use this in your video. I love your videos still, and my friend literally shrieked in excitement when I showed her the video. You and everyone in the comments really made her day. Thank you. Thank you, my friend, you rock. And our final story of the day. No, your kid cannot sit on my motorcycle. Plus, you owe me a new helmet. Hello everyone. First story here. Been binge watching entitled Parents stories on YouTube and decided to add one of my own. Keep up the great stories, Mr. Reddit. Typing this one up on my phone, so usual disclaimers. English is native language, etc. On to the story. Cast. We've got entitled parent. We've got entitled kid. We've got my writing buddy, and me, obviously. In 2009, I used to ride with a group of fellow sports bike owners, and we attended a rally held here each year. The incident itself was brief, but had some serious aftermath, as entitled kid got injured badly from nearly 600 pounds of motorcycle falling on him. The incident itself. I am chatting with friends about the poker run we just completed with several hundred other riders, and I hear something bouncing across the pavement near my bike. I look over and see my helmet sent flying like a football by entitled kid, knocking it off of the bike and kicking it. I picked up the helmet, then go over to talk to the kid about touching people's property, and end up running into entitled parent instead. Incoming Karen. Hey, entitled kid. You shouldn't touch the bikes without anyone's permission.
What are you saying to my child?
I was just saying that
My kid wanted to sit on this motorcycle. You are going to let him.
No, your kid cannot sit on my motorcycle. Plus, you owe me a new helmet.
What? Why?
I point at the now scuffed helmet in my hand. Because your kid knocked it down and kicked it across the pavement.
So, how much was it?
$350.
What? That's ridiculous.
Just as she was saying this, we hear a crash followed by a second, along with some yelling and crying. While we were arguing, entitled kid had in fact climbed up onto my bike and knocked it off of its stand, which caused it to fall over into the bike next to it. In the process, the kid broke his leg from the bike either landing on it or crushing it between it and the bike it fell against. So now my friend gets involved, as it was his bike that was knocked over as well. My friend and entitled parents start arguing as myself and the other riders work on getting the bikes off of the kid. My friend.
Yo,
Lady, your kid just wrecked 2 bikes. You're gonna pay for that too.
No, I am not. You shouldn't have had them parked that close together.
Your kids shouldn't have been touching them at all. In fact, you shouldn't even be on this side of the line. At this point, my friend is pointing to the line on the pavement where the bikes were parked near for the show and shine portion of the event. It is also at this point security and RCMP arrive. Entitled parent ends up getting arrested for disturbing the event, and entitled kid ended up in the ER for injuries from the falling bikes. Aftermath. Entitled parent tried to sue the event organizers for what happened. Event organizers countersued for disturbance and to cover the damages to the bikes. Entitled parent lost and ended up shelling out well over $3,000 between replacing my helmet and parts and repairs on the bikes. And congrats to our Re-General of the Day, Comical.
Drop a re in the comments, and you can be our next general.
That's all for now, but don't be blue. I'll be back soon with more stories for you. Remember to listen to Mr. Reddit every night, so your dreams will be wonderful like you are and bright.